Good morning, students. Welcome to the video lecture on substation and grounding practice, which is module 4 in our course on power generation and economics. Learning objectives. At the end of this video lecture, students will be able to discuss basic concepts in design and planning of substations, classify substations based on the nature of duties, type of service rendered, voltage levels in design, compare different locations for site selection for substations. Introduction. Power stations can be located in the power system either very close to the load center or very close to the generating plants. In either case, transformer is an integral part of such stations. In case of generating stations, we have transformers required for stepping up the voltage to higher levels required for transmission system, and at the distribution end we need transformers for stepping down the voltage at the customer end. In this course, we will generally describe substations wherein stepping up action or stepping down action is done by the transformers. In general, substations can be used even for AC to DC conversion, change in frequency, and change in power factor. In general, we can say that assembly of electrical apparatus for change of characteristic like change in voltage level, change in frequency, change in power factor, etc. of the electrical supply is together called as a substation. Substations. As already discussed, substations are an essential part of any power system. They are very important since they maintain continuity of supply, and quality of power supply can also be maintained using these substations. So, proper care has to be taken in designing and building such substations. The following factors are kept in mind while designing and building substations. First of all, proper site has to be selected for erection or commissioning of these substations. Second, protective equipment against fire hazard and explosions have to be provided. Clearances for high voltage substations also need to be provided, and the substation should be providing facilities for maintenance and operation. Third, it should be easily operated and maintained. Fourth, the capital cost of such substation should be minimum. Classification of substations. Substations can be classified on several factors. On the basis of nature of duties, we have primary or step up substations, primary grid substations, and distribution or step down substations. Primary step up substations are placed close to the generators where power loss will be minimum if the step up transformer is close to the generating point, and the step up voltage to higher voltage is given to the transmission lines. Primary grid substations are placed at the secondary point where step down is done to the secondary transmission levels. The distribution substations will step down the voltage to 415 volt 3 phase or 240 volt single phase level available to the customer through service mains. Classification can also be done on the basis of type of service rendered, like we have transformer substations which only do step up or step down of voltage levels. Then we can have switching substations which are used only for switching the power lines, and voltage levels are not changed. Here transmission lines are switched over. We can also have converter substations which change AC to DC or vice versa, or decrease frequency from higher frequency to lower frequency and vice versa. We can also classify substations on the basis of voltage levels. That is, we can have high voltage substations ranging from 66 kV to 132 kV. We can have extra high voltage, that is EHV substations ranging from 132 kV to 400 kV, and we can have ultra high voltage or UHV substations ranging above 400 kV. Also, classification can be done on the basis of importance, that is, we can have grid substations. These substations are placed at different points on the power grid, and failure of these substations can lead to grid collapse. We can have town substations, which are at the entry point of the transmission lines, and they step down the voltage necessary for the town, and if these town substations fail, then this can lead to power cut to the entire town. Then we can classify based on the design. We can have indoor substations and outdoor substations. Indoor substations will have all the electrical apparatus of the substation inside a building, and this is suitable for voltages up to 11 kV. It can be extended to voltages up to 66 kV, provided that the environment around is quite dusty, has conductive dust and metallic particles in the air. Then we can think of having indoor substations. Outdoor substations can be again divided into pole mounted and floor mounted. Pole mounted can be single mounted transformers, or H pole or 4 pole mounted transformers up to rating of 250 kVA can be mounted on poles, but above this rating the transformers become too heavy, and we have to go for floor mounted substations. um, so these are the various means by which we can classify substations. Location and selection of site for substations. The following factors have to be kept in mind for selecting site for a substation. First one, type of substation. Here, the category of substation is paramount in selecting the site for substation. For example, if we have a step-up substation, it is closer to be, it is meant to be closer to a generating site where the power losses will be minimum, and if it is a step-down or a distribution substation, then it is preferred to be closer to the load center, so that reliable supply of power can be achieved. Next, we have the suitability and the availability of land. The land should be normally inclined, it should not be a slant, and it should be open from all sides. It should not be waterlogged during the rainy season, and it should allow transmission lines to come in and take off without any obstruction. Also, the availability of land should be such that for a 400 kV substation we should have at least 50 acres of land. For 220 kV substation, around 25 acres, and for 132 kV substation, around 10 acres of land is preferred. The substation should not be located close to an airport or a shooting range. It should not be um, having an environment around it which has metallic dust in the atmosphere, and gaseous fumes which can corrode the electrical apparatus. Also, there should be facility for drainage and transportation, and also facility for communication near the substation. Also, proper amenities should be provided for staff working in the substation. Lecture summary. The assembly of electrical apparatus for a change of characteristic like change of voltage level, frequency, power factor of the electrical supply is called a substation. The substations may be broadly classified based on the nature of duties, type of service rendered, design used, and the voltage level. Also, the location and the site selection criteria for such substations mainly depend on the type of substations, the availability of land and the type of the land, the atmospheric conditions, and the availability of communication and transportation facilities. Thank you.